life fixers. Hope you're having an awesome day. Are you ready to better understand yourself, your partner, and your marriage? Yes, you will on today's episode. Now, you are not going to believe me. This was actually in my notes for the past couple of weeks, and it fell out on exactly today's episode. You see, when I started doing the Rewiring Your Brain episodes and I was trying to figure out how I could make this easier for you, clear for you, breaking it down into really short steps, and just so that way you could understand it, because I know it is complicating and I know there's a lot of parts to it and I know it's not an overnight success. And I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? So I decided to wait off with this part for a few weeks till you now understand what cognitive functions are. You understand how we take in information, process information, put it out to the world. You even have some strategies to start to work on it. Hopefully you're starting to see success, but at the same time, you might be having questions, especially the question I'm going to guess you are thinking is, okay, Esty, I see that a lot of things are cognitive. I see a lot of things are because of the way my brain is wired. But even because of all the episodes you've done, a lot of things come from emotions. We did so many episodes on emotional triggers and dealing with emotions and processing emotions and handling things and journaling with processing emotions. So how does this work together? Why is it that you're saying things are cognitive and you're also saying things are emotional? Because that's exactly it. Fell out exactly this week when we were speaking about emotional intelligence and becoming smarter in your emotions. And I'm like, okay, pretty cool. I did not plan it, but here we go. There are two reasons for why you do any single one of your actions. Now, one of them, as you know, if you listen to any of Your Brain Rewired episodes, comes from the way your brain is wired, comes from the way your brain thinks and processes information. That's the first way. The second way is from any emotional reason. That could be because of any emotions you have towards something, either because of a trauma or because of a past experience or because of the way you grew up or anything else having to do with emotions. So now the question comes in, when is something emotional? When is something cognitive? And which ones do I work on first? Now, first of all, some things could be both emotional and cognitive, but how do you go and figure out if something's emotional or if something is cognitive? Now, it's a bit hard to see. I would say it's easier for an outsider to see, a professional to see if something's emotional or cognitive. Even better if they're familiar with both cognitive and emotional aspects. So that way they could go and really tell you what's coming from what. But a lot of times they build up on each other. You had this cognitive thing, so that's when it turned into something emotional. Or you had this emotional thing, so it turned into something cognitive in the way your brain is wired. So how could you actually go and figure it out? I don't want to say like one blanket statement. This is all the things and everything that falls into this is going to be emotional, that is going to be cognitive. But with that warning, a lot of things that are emotional usually tend to bring up more emotions, tend to bring more emotional overflooding and things like that. And things that are cognitive tend to more have been things that you constantly do over and over again, like the way you're cleaning your room or the way you are trying to talk to your partner and it's not working, things like that. Now, we're actually, just as I'm saying that, the way you're trying to talk to your partner can be a cognitive thing, but at the same time, it can be emotional. So I don't even know if I want to say that. But usually it's on a very, very, very basic level. Things that are emotional bring like that emotional overload, and things that are the cognitive are those tasks that you do over and over again that you don't even realize that you're doing it in a different way. That's part of the cognitive. The hard thing about cognitive is that because you've been doing it for so long, you might have even been trained to do it in that specific way. It's really, really hard to go and see another way is possible. So that's for that. Now, big question. What do I work on first? Emotional or cognitive? Ready for the big answer? You're not going to like it. Or maybe you will. I do. It depends on the person. It starts off if the actions, the challenges that you're having in your life started from emotional or they started from cognitive, or even sometimes they started cognitive, but now there's an emotional blockage there and you're not going to be able to even access the cognitive because of the emotions. Sometimes you can't access the emotions because of the cognitive. So going back to, let's say, the emotional intelligence in the previous episode with Arvin, then some people don't have the cognitive ability. Their cognitive deficiencies are extremely weak to help them recognize emotions. In Feuerstein, in the program that we do, Your Brain Rewired, we have a special program just for kids under the age of 9. Sometimes we use it even with adults that helps them specifically with emotions, called identifying emotions. It's identifying the emotions, noticing what cues show us the emotions, what are triggers to emotions, and like the intensity of emotions. And that focuses on the very cognitive part of emotions. And it could go both ways. You might have emotional issues that have to be dealt with emotionally, and you might have emotional issues that might have to be dealt with cognitively. And usually it has to do with both. So you, hopefully to answer your question, can now start thinking about, is it because of I'm stuck on this and I can't do it another way? That is probably a cognitive thing. I see it's possible, but there's all this emotion. I'm scared. I'm not sure. It's bringing up things from the past, then it's probably emotional. And then you're going to want to go and work on the emotional first before we get into the cognitive. Even though sometimes it's best to work on both together so that way hand in hand, they're improving each other. Now, I hope that answered your question. Let me know if you have any more. You could head over to lifefixuniversity.com/podcast. Put all your questions in there. Let me know how things are working for you, what else you want to know, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
That's all for this episode of the Life Fix University podcast, but I have a huge favor to ask of you that will not only support the show, but will also help the people you love most. We are striving for 1 million downloads by the end of 2025, and we can't do this without your help. If you love this episode, please share it with 2 of your family and friends so they too can rewire their brains to have an extraordinary marriage. It was awesome spending time with you, and I'll see you on the next episode.